1 Samuel 25. To fight God's battles. Samuel died. The whole country came to his funeral. Everyone grieved over his death, and he was buried in his hometown of Ramah. Meanwhile, David moved again, this time to the wilderness of Man. There was a certain man in Man who carried on his business in the region of Carmel. He was very prosperous. He had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and it was sheep shearing time in Carmel. The man's name was Nabal, which means fool, a Calebite, and his wife's name was Abigail. The woman was intelligent and good-looking, and the man brutish and mean. David, out in the back country, heard that Nabal was shearing his sheep and sent 10 of his young men off with these instructions. Go to Carmel and approach Nabal. Greet him in my name. Peace, life and peace to you. Peace to your household. Peace to everyone here. I hear that it's sheep shearing time. Here's the point. When your shepherds were camped near us, we didn't take advantage of them. They didn't lose a thing all of the time that they were with us in Carmel. Ask your young men. They'll tell you. What I am asking is that you be generous with my men. Share the feast. Give whatever your heart tells you to your servants and to me, David, your son. David's young men went and delivered his message word for word to Nabal. Nabal tore into them. Who is this David? Who is this son of Jesse? The country is full of runaway servants these days. Do you think I'm going to take good bread and wine and meat, freshly butchered for my sheep shears, and give it to men I've never even laid eyes on? Who knows where they've come from? David's men got out of there and went back and told David what he had said. David said, strap on your swords. They all strapped on their swords. David and his men, and they set out, 400 of them. 200 stayed behind to guard the camp. Meanwhile, one of the young shepherds told Abigail, Nabal's wife, what had happened. David sent messengers from the back country to salute our master, but he tore into them with insults. But yet these men treated us very well. They took nothing from us. They didn't take advantage of us all the time that we were in the fields. They formed a wall around us, protecting us day and night all the time that we were out tending the sheep. Do something quickly, because big trouble is ahead for our master and all of us. Nobody can talk to him. He's impossible. A real brute. Abigail flew into action. She took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep dressed out and ready for cooking, a bushel of roasted grain, 100 raisin cakes, and 200 fig cakes. And she had it all loaded on some donkeys. Then she said to her young servants, go ahead and pave the way for me. I'm right behind you. But she said nothing to her husband, Nabal. As she was riding her donkey, descending into a ravine, David and his men were descending from the other end, and so they met there on the road. David had just said, that sure was a waste, guarding everything that this man had out in the wild so that nothing he had was lost. And now he rewards me with insults, a real slap in my face. May God do his worst to me if Nabal and every cur in his misbegotten brood aren't dead meat by morning. As soon as Abigail saw David, she got off of her donkey and she fell to her knees at his feet, her face to the ground in homage, saying, my master, let me take the blame. Let me speak to you. Listen to what I have to say. Don't dwell on what that brute Nabal did. He acts out the meaning of his name. Nabal, fool. Foolishness oozes from him. I wasn't there when the young men my master sent arrived. I didn't see them. And now, my master, as God lives and as you live, God has kept you from avenging this murder. And may your enemies, all who seek my master's harm, end up like Nabal. Now, take this gift that I, your servant girl, have brought to my master and give it to the young men who follow in the steps of my master. Forgive my presumption, but God is at work in my master, developing a rule solid and dependable. My master fights God's battles. As long as you live, no evil will stick to you. If anyone stands in your way, if anyone tries to get you out of the way, know this. Your God-honored life is tightly bound in the bundle of God-protected life. But the lives of your enemies will be hurled aside as a stone is thrown from a sling. When God completes all of the goodness he has promised my master, and he sets you up as prince over Israel, my master will not have this dead weight in his heart, the guilt of an avenging murder. And when God has worked things for good for my master, remember me. And David said, Blessed be God, the God of Israel. He sent you to meet me. And blessed be your good sense. Bless you for keeping me from murder and taking charge of looking out for me. A close call. As God lives, the God of Israel who kept me from hurting you. If you had not come as quickly as you did, stopping me in my tracks, by morning, there would have been nothing left of Nabal but dead meat. And then David accepted the gift she brought him and said, Return home in peace. I have heard what you said, and I'll do what you have asked. When Abigail got home, she found Nabal presiding over a huge banquet. He was in high spirits and very, very drunk. And so she didn't tell him anything of what she'd done until morning. But in the morning, after Nabal had sobered up, she told him the whole story. Right then and there, he had a heart attack and he fell into a coma. About 10 days later, God finished him off and he died. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be God who has stood up for me against Nabal's insults, kept me from an evil act, and let Nabal's evil boomerang back on him. Then David sent for Abigail to tell her that he wanted her for his wife. David's servants went to Abigail at Carmel with a message. David sent us to bring you to marry him. She got up and then bowed down, face to the ground, saying, I'm your servant, ready to do anything you want. I'll even wash the feet of my master's servants. Abigail didn't linger. She got on her donkey and, with her 5 maids in attendance, went with the messengers to David, and she became his wife. David also married Ahinoam of Jezreel. Both women were his wives. Saul had married off David's wife Michal to Paltiel, son of Laish, who was from Galim.